Valentine's Day. What do you expect? What do you think of when you think of Valentine's Day? You think of a bunch of things. Think of anything, right? Think of all of those cheesy rom-coms, which we all secretly love so much because we want to be loved. Every single one of us on this earth wants to feel these things. They want to feel loved. They want to feel accepted for who they are. They want to feel seen, and they want to feel respected. And what baffles me is that we kind of stop ourselves from getting those things. Hello, and welcome to the Sweet Madness Podcast, where we talk about everything sweet and everything mad and everything in between. And today, my friend, is an in-between day. I'm feeling a lot of feels right now. So if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Amanda Montoni, and I am your host. If you clicked on this episode, chances are you like the title. We're talking about dating and being single and all of that romantic stuff. If you haven't, click on part 1 from season 1. We talk about a lot of encompassing things that we are not even going to get to today, that I will probably not even get to for years to come, because there's a lot of layers involved with everything that goes on with any human being or relation to each other in life. I hope that was a complete sentence. I'm very in my head. So there are a lot of thoughts in my head going on. And if you are just joining us for the first time, I have an interesting way of thinking. I think a lot of thoughts at the same time. I think holistically. I have a holistic brain. That's probably why I like directing so much. There are a lot of things in life that intertwine with each other. Things that are layered on top of each other, things that, relate to each other, and they may seem unrelated, but it's all related. Which is why I'm feeling all the feels today, and I'm in the in-between. Now, in terms of this episode, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible for you today. I'm going to try to talk about one aspect that I think is really, really, really important if you are out there dating or trying to find a partner, find a life partner out there, or a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. This is something that I feel like is very missed in a lot of dating education that we get from movies and TV shows and books and all of that stuff. Let me start off by saying happy February, which means that Valentine's Day is here. I have my own qualms about Valentine's Day. So if you follow me on social media, specifically Instagram, every night I post journal nuggets. I go back through my journals as a way to see how far I've come in my own personal journey and what happened in my life. I have 2 entries from Valentine's Day over the past 2 years that both said they were the best Valentine's Day I've ever had in my life thus far. Last year was specifically great, and it was the greatest Valentine's Day and the best Valentine's Day I've ever had in my life. I saw Stevie Nicks in concert with a family friend and her daughter and other friends of theirs, and I had a blast. I saw Stevie doing her magic witchy thing on stage. It was freaking fantastic. I can't tell you how much love I felt that day. The year before, it was a simple day, and what was really important about that simple day was that I met my mother where she was at in her journey that day. We just had lunch, we talked, I took her to doctor's appointments, and that was that. It was simple and lovely and just a really good time with my mom. And I remember talking with her and, being in the doctor's offices with her and really listening, really, really, really meeting her where she was at. And she always meets me where I'm at. Thank you, Mom. Hi. And listening to each other and hearing our different perspectives on things, hearing our different opinions on things, hearing where we are emotionally in different places. And it was very rewarding just to be in that curious mindset. That is what is important in dating, especially when you start dating someone new, as in you've never met them before. They're not one of your friends that you've made over your years. And chances are, your friends are your friends because you took the time to get to know them and meet them where they are at. Just like I was talking about with my mom. You have an open mind. You're there for them when you need them, when they need you. You love them the way that they need to be loved. That is so, so, so important. So circling back to dating or romantic relationships, I'm going to try to name off things here and be as organized as I can. I have no notes for today because I knew that I wanted to touch upon so many different things, and quite frankly, I didn't want to write it all out. I do have a blog post that writes some of it out. You can go to amandamontoni.com to check that out. So, number one, if you are dating a stranger, right, we need to get a few things straight. Valentine's Day, what do you expect? What do you think of when you think of Valentine's Day? You think of red, you think of pink, you think of hearts, you think of flowers, you think of grand romantic dinners, you think of dressing up, you think of chocolate, you think of all of the things that movies or TV shows have shown or have done some sort of the same trope in a way, right? You think of a man professing his love to a woman via standing on the ground in front of her house, holding a boombox, playing a romance song. That's what you think of. You think of you think of a backyard full of lights. Sorry, I just thought of like a bunch of movies, and the fact that I'm thinking of these movies is kind of right out of a scene of another movie. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm totally just subconsciously stealing this. I am not. I'm trying to make it different now. So you think of a backyard filled with lights at a prom after someone got stood up, and it's just magical. You think of after someone just got stood up and he comes to the house and he's there, and it's a magical ending, and they probably end up together. You think of hundreds and thousands of yellow daisies in the lobby of a hotel room. To my friends who are fans of that show, I am here for you. You think of a bunch of things. Think of anything. Right? Think of all of those cheesy rom-coms, which we all secretly love so much because we want to be loved. We all want to be loved. Every single one of us on this earth wants to feel these things. They want to feel loved. They want to feel accepted for who they are. They want to feel seen. And they want to feel respected. Every single person on this earth wants those things. You want it. I want it. And what baffles me is that we kind of stop ourselves from getting those things. We stop ourselves from giving those things. It's a two-way street. So think of your friendships. Think of your family relationships that are ones you admire and ones you love being in. I know family dynamics always come into play here. See, there's layers intertwined. So I wanted to bring that up because it's going to come up later in the conversation. I'm going to go back to now my things that I think you should really think about when dating. Number one, and this may be a hard truth, and this goes back to expectations from movies and how romance should be. What I was just saying about flowers and scenes from TV shows and yellow daisies and all of that stuff. We expect the other person to do the things that are in that movie. We expect that. That's unfair. It's unrealistic, honestly. It's unrealistic expectations, and it definitely did this for me. It it caused me to romanticize about the person in front of me, or the person I was thinking about potentially dating. Romanticize all of these things and then be devastated when they showed me that they're human. And if you're in a relationship, that's unfair expectations to put on someone. You're not meeting them. You're not seeing them for the human that they are. You are not accepting them for the human that they are. You're expecting them to be this idea. We fall in love with the idea of dating someone instead of the someone that we are seeing in front of us at the other side of the table. We are so afraid of the candle on the table, right in the center, going out, because we don't want to be able to say, I am not in a relationship. I am not seeing anybody. We want to keep that flame going. I find that we want to keep that flame going just to say that we have someone. And even that, have someone. I see problem with that terminology, and I'm calling myself out on it. Because you don't have someone to take. That is a full, complete human being. They are not yours to own. I don't own them. You don't own them. To be with is what I'm going to replace. To say that we are with someone. If you start thinking in terms of have, I'm never going to have anybody, I'm never going to do that, that disrespects the potential person that you're trying to find. Because you're putting ownership to them. Like you own them. That is a thought bubble I did not expect to have today. So anyway, in order to meet them where they're at, there's something you got to do. Get out of that romantic idealism of this person. Be realistic about who's in front of you. Get to know them. Take the time to get to know them like you did your friends. Have an open heart, have an open mind. Because you may just be, if they are not everything you wish for, guess what? No one is everything you wish for. No one. I can go into a whole tangent about this, but I won't right now. No one can be every single thing for you. It's impossible. And that's also very unfair to put that pressure on someone else. I was guilty of it. I thought that, I would find the guy and he would be everything to me. He would be my confidant. He would be my best friend. He would love this. He would love that. We could share this. We could do that. He would listen. And I'm like, that's not possible, because every single human being has different capacities. Every single human being has different stories to tell. Every single human being has experienced this life differently, and they have their own journey. Now, I'm going to go on to the next thing. Another thing that I think is important to think about in dating is that everybody has a different definition of dating. Everybody has a different definition of love based on their personal life experience. I know my definition of dating, but the person that I could be, quote unquote, talking to or getting to know or going on dates with has a different definition. And it's really crappy to not put that into consideration. It doesn't have to mean, oh, it's doomed. We can't do it. We can't do it. No. What it means is you now understand where they're coming from. What it means is you're creating a space for them to feel comfortable to actually talk about things and actually meet each other where you're at with kindness and compassion, and you each, this goes for you too, you obviously say what your definition is. You have to define your terms. And it's better to do that right away, because then you get stuck in this weird friend zoney thing, and it's like blah blah blah. I've been in it too many times. I've also been in too many situationships, and I broke a pattern. And this is why I'm sharing this relationship things with you guys. This is why I'm sharing these things with you guys, because it took me the hard way and a lot of heartbreak to finally release myself from that cycle. And I hope that if you are in that cycle, I can help you. Meeting them where they're at about their definition of dating is a conversation. That's also another thing that I want to list off here. A lot of people, because of the expectations from society and movies and TV shows and books and stories and musicals and all of that stuff, it's this grand, beautiful thing. Yes, it's fantasy. Talk about what you are thinking. Talk about it. Be grounded in reality. If you're not grounded in reality and seeing the person in front of you, you're just setting yourself up for heartbreak and disappointment. And that is the last thing that I wish for you. That is the last thing I wish for anyone. For me, I looked up dating on Google. I just searched dating. All of the results had to do with either dating sites or, finding love or whatever. But then I scrolled down to some articles, and then the list of key phrases that come up at the bottom. Not key phrases, the list of key phrases that come up at the bottom. And all of them were a question of looking for clarity. What is dating? How is dating different than a relationship? How do you know you're dating someone? If that alone doesn't tell you that we as a collective society don't know what dating is, then I don't know what to tell you. Same goes for love. Love is an all-encompassing thing, right? It's either a feeling. I think of it as an action. You choose to love someone every day. It takes effort, okay? So does dating. It takes effort. And I'm not saying it as hard effort. It just takes effort. Like you do with your friends. It takes effort. Love doesn't magically solve everything. It's not magic in terms of what happens after the honeymoon phase, quote unquote, or, finding someone and you feel connected to them. That's connection. That's infatuation. That's attraction. The love is what happens when you make an effort to communicate and to see each other. And the same goes with dating. You make an effort. And if you want a relationship, right? You make an effort to see each other, hang out with each other. If you're just texting, guess what? That's false intimacy. You're not face to face. And then you're creating this version of them in your head because you don't see them enough, but you're texting. Tone is lost through texting. Everything is lost through texting. It's false. It's also fantasy. Get grounded in reality. So, dating. No one knows what the F it is. No one knows. And it could be different for everybody. And if you don't know what your definition of dating is, you're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say, I don't know what my definition of dating is. I will tell you that if you do work on defining it, it will probably better your experience. There's so much gray area in dating and romantic relationships. It's insane. For an anxiety-driven person like me, it's been rough because anxiety, you want to have a sense of control, and that comes with defining things, right? So how do I deal with it with the uncertainty? How do I deal with the uncertainty? How have I dealt with the uncertainty? I've grounded myself by regulating my nervous system and staying in the present moment and processing my emotions and my feelings before I react or make the decision to have a conversation with someone about them. Okay? I'm feeling winded. And I know it's hard to have conversations with people. I know it's very, very hard. It's scary. It's really, really scary. But that's the way, the ultimate way to get answers and get clarity, but also a chance to actually get to know someone. And it's how you present the conversation. Unfortunately, it's how you present things that matter most, right? If someone says one sentence one way and then the same sentence another way, the first way is condescending and rude and kind of like blunt, and the other one is with kindness and compassion, which is the one that you think you're going to respond positively to. Kindness and compassion. The problem is we are humans driven by emotion. So, and a lot of us do not know how to regulate our emotions. And that is something that I think is important, especially when it comes to dating new people. So having a conversation with someone, I've had conversations with people, with guys I've dated. Some of them I haven't. Some of them I am ashamed to say I kind of ghosted. I say kind of because I've always said something to like reveal it, but like instead of giving someone a chance after the first or the second date, right? And now this is obviously situational and individualized, right? If you go on a first date with someone and they're just like, you know, talking about all of the money they have, I'm speaking from experience, talking about all the money they have, and all of the expensive cars they have and watches that they have, and they're not looking at you in the eye, and they're on their phone the whole time, and they are just like eyeing the waitress that is waiting on you, that's not a good person, and don't go on a date with that person again, right? But if it's someone that you're like, I don't know, go on another date with them. Get to know them. I know the kind of person that I want to be. And I do not want to be a person that simply shoves someone aside because nothing is perfect. Or they're just to begin with. I have had experiences where I've been with people to begin with. But I actually really grew to like them because I took the time to get to know them. I took the time to listen to them. I took the time to get to know their personality and their character. And was there like the spark that people talk about? No, there wasn't. There was not. There was not initially. But I got to know them, and then I started automatically feeling this spark based on their personality and the way they came alive when they're not nervous around me anymore, or they're not feeling the pressure of a date. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing because it opens up opportunity for you. It opened up opportunity for me. And just because it didn't work out doesn't mean I can't find it again. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Do I feel alone? Yes, today is a day I feel lonely. There's a difference between alone and lonely. I also have a podcast episode about that one. I'm feeling a little lonely today. I'm feeling a little, doubtful that I will find someone, but I don't want to make that my entire being. I don't want to make that my everyday, because it's not. I love being alone. I love my solace. I'm good being alone. I have fun. I have fun. I write. I color. I listen to music. I dance. I do all of that stuff. I've always kind of been self-sufficient and okay with my own company. But when it comes to being alone and dating someone new, you don't want to be alone. So then you're kind of vibing out that like you want everything to work with this one person, and you're putting all of your eggs in one basket on this person. And it's like, no, live your life first. Live your life first and then date like according to your life. Don't date and then don't make dating your life. That's how you lose your sense of self. That's how you lose that's how you lose friends. That's how you lose family. I'm going to extremes here, by the way. That's how you lose yourself. And who's going to want to date someone that doesn't have a sense of self? They're going to see a wishy-washy kind of be whatever they want to be person. And for some people, I mean, they like that, but that's kind of crappy. If you don't honor your partner for who they are and like them for who they are, then what are you building? You're building on falsity. Is that a word? You're building on something false. You're building on a lie. Sorry. I just got the ick, as they say. Also, nah. Icks. I'm not going to go into details about when you're dating, but like everybody has a different definition and you need to talk to people and see where they're at. Like also, you don't know where they are now in their emotional journey. If you're just meeting them, you don't know them. Stop putting this pressure like you know everything about them. You do not know anything about this person. Even if you've been on, dates for a couple months, you still don't know them. They're a brand new person. And what if they have, their grandmother is in the hospital and is going to die any moment and they chose not to share that with you? You got to respect that. That's like something personal that like maybe they only feel comfortable telling their best friends or dealing with the family. Maybe they didn't tell their friends. Maybe they only feel comfortable dealing with the family. You got to consider people. You got to consider people's journeys, because guess what? If you're not doing that, you're vilifying them, and you're also not giving the love and the respect and the acceptance, all the things that you want, to them. I don't want to be that person that vilifies someone just because they couldn't meet me where I was at perfectly. I've been in situations where things didn't work out, and that's okay. It's okay. We didn't align. Now, these weren't relationships for like years and years. They were for like months, but I was really liking them. It's happened to me it's happened to me actually like a lot. Actually, you could say every single time, right? So what do we do? Right? What do we do? What do we do in dating? Because if it's bothering you that much, you probably need to talk about it. So talk about it. If you're okay with how they're going and progressing and you just genuinely want to know where the other person is, like do a check-in. So have a conversation. And I know it's scary, but you're never going to know if you don't open up the floor. You're going to be stuck in that anxiety. And then even after, if it doesn't work out and like they broke up with you or they stopped things, if you didn't address things, that stuff is still going to fester. That stuff is still going to fester and it's still going to make you anxious. I've been through it. As you can tell, a lot has changed in my dating world. I kept saying I've been through it, and then I broke a cycle, and I'm really freaking proud of myself. And if you are breaking a cycle, you should really be freaking proud of yourself. But if you're still in this mode of, dating should be this, dating should be that, I urge you to just take a pause, take a breath, see the person that's in front of you, meet them where they're at, be considerate of their journey the way you would want someone to be considerate of your journey as well. Well, I think that's the episode because my brain is all jumbled and I have so much more I want to talk about and say, but I think that would just make confusion go everywhere, spew everywhere, all over the floor, all through your car vents if you're listening in your car. That's not a good idea. All through the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Please, I hope you tell me if this episode helped you or not. There's a lot that we miss. There's a lot that we miss just because we have this idea of what it should be. And idealizing people and romanticizing people instead of seeing the person that's in front of us. So I wish you the best if you are dating, and if you're not and you're in a happy relationship, well, maybe this will help you try something new. I don't know. You never know. People think about things that seem to not tie together with conversations, but the human brain is a wonder. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you guys on the flip side. And please, 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 please submit your questions for our special Q&A episode that is coming up in the next couple months. You can go to the link in the show notes to submit those. Subscribe, rate, like, comment. I would love your feedback. That's how I bring you more content of what you want to hear. If this episode helped you in any way, please, please, please reach out and sign up for my newsletter on amandamontoni.com. It's honestly such a beautiful community that I am so happy is a thing. I'm in your inbox every Friday with some Sweet Madness stuff like this. Check out that blog post I mentioned earlier. Check out the last episode. I'm telling you a lot of call to actions right now, and I really, really apologize, but I have one more. Merch. There is merch on the Sweet Madness merch page on my store, on my website. A lot of on my's over there. And spread the love. Spread the love.